Like a bird.
In her downtown San Francisco studio, Mary Sano teaches the modern dance technique created by Isadora Duncan more than 100 years ago.
Balance.
Mary's students are not just learning Duncan's movement style, but also how to tap into her source of inspiration.
To me, the Duncan technique is about learning nature, movement of nature. Like Isadora said, look at nature, study nature, understand nature, and then express the nature. It's unlimited possibility.
It's like you're going over the little petals of water, and you're going to look up the sky when you leap.
Mary is passing along a tradition that she fell in love with when she walked into a Duncan dance class by chance.
Those days I was living in Tokyo, and it was a very fast-paced life. I was on TV, actually. I was in Japanese TV dancing and filming, and I was modeling. I was visiting from Tokyo, and I went to a workshop here in San Francisco. It was so different than any other dance class I was in, and the wind and the breeze, and would start to sway, and all that wonderful thing came to me. Imagination came to me. Slowly I shifted my life to art from fashion. It's hard to believe. It's been already 25 years or more than that.
Yeah. And here.
Mary founded the first school of Duncan dancing in Japan in 1983 and a sister school in San Francisco in 1997.
That's the first move.
Her goal is not just preservation, but the creation of new work in the Duncan style.
I am not Isadora Duncan, and I haven't seen her dance. So it's about my way of understanding this work, and goes to what Isadora's source was.
Isadora Duncan was born in San Francisco in 1877, but left at the age of 18 to pursue a career on the stage. From early on, her ideas about dance were radical.
The dancers of that period did high kicks, they did splits, so it was a show of, female physicality. Isadora's dance was meant to be a spiritual exercise, was meant to be from the soul, was meant to be a prayer.
It was the oceans, forests, and mountains of the Bay Area that fed her spirit, as well as a dawning appreciation of classical forms.
In those days, the Beaux-Arts movement was beginning to be very prevalent. There was a tendency to call the Bay Area the Athens of the West. And there was a sense that we should approach the natural, romanticized life that was Greece. She and her brother became devotees of Greek culture, and she saw the wonderful loose togas that fell in folds, which give you the sense of a three-dimensional sculpture.
These togas, which allowed the body to move freely, left little to the imagination.
Well, she wore very little underneath those togas. And at that time, to see a woman who was barely dressed was considered not only revolutionary, but vulgar. On the other hand, it made her legend. Isadora was part of the whole revolution against the Victorian age. Because of our Puritan heritage in America, people who danced were often condemned because dance provoked sexuality. Well, here comes a woman displaying sexuality, spirituality, and physical freedom on the stage.
She went all over the world to say dance has to be recognized as an art. Really, she opened up the new era of freedom, freeing your soul, freeing your body, mind.
Duncan performed throughout Europe, influencing the most important artists of her age, like Russian ballet choreographer Michael Fokine and theater director Konstantin Stanislavski. They were moved by the expressiveness and passion of her dance, a passion that was also reflected in the way she lived.
Isadora advocated free love, and indeed, she had 2 illegitimate children. She did not marry until very late in her life, and then she married a Russian poet who spoke no English and she spoke no Russian.
Scorned by American society for her scandalous life, she made Europe her home until her untimely death in 1927.
She was wearing a beautiful red silk scarf. The fringes of the scarf got caught in the wheels of the Bugatti, and her neck was broken instantly.
Despite the drama of her life, Duncan's legacy is her contribution to the evolution of dance and how she cleared a path for all who came after her.
Now we're going to use your arms. Like a tree swaying.
Duncan's choreography is preserved through a direct line of dancers, starting with her first students, her adopted daughters, known as the Isadorables.
These Isadorables learned from Isadora, and Isadorables themselves developed a lot of dances. It's really a generational work, because each teacher brings in something new.
Opening the wing, playing a flute, and turn and having fun, okay?
We do maybe about 100 repertoires here. Some people say, Mary, how do you remember all these dances? So I say, well, when I start to listen and start to move to these pieces, my body remembers. Just moves. All I need is to listen. It takes a long, long time to even start to move this way, because we have to relearn how to be natural.
To teach the original dances, Mary uses the same ideas and images as Duncan, like the classic contrapposto pose found in Greek statues, in which the body is always poised to move.
Going back to the beginning place, fall away. Looking back like a statue. And then look straight. You're the goddesses. Good.
After years of teaching and performing the Duncan technique in her studio, Mary brought her company to San Francisco's Cowell Theater this past November for the first time.
We were able to celebrate our 10th year in the theater, which is, for us, like a dream. In a bigger stage, we can dance bigger, we can feel freedom.
In addition to a collection of traditional Duncan pieces, the company performed Mary's original choreography, which is inspired by Duncan and influenced by No, a style of classical Japanese theater. No is known for its stylized movement and contained emotion.
The style is, of course, it's almost opposite, so different, because Duncan work is fluid, it's moving. Style is different, but spirit is sometimes same. When I see beautiful sunset and Pacific Ocean here, or when I go into woods and feel the energy of this spirited place, and I feel Isadora saw the waves here, exact spot. And, you know, this is something about this birthplace of Isadora that I feel very special. Many people ask me, you want to find a protege? I'm not concerned at all. Not many students will carry on, but one, if this is serious and enthusiastic, it will live.